Hello and welcome back. We are here at Octane, so Okta's flagship event here in Las Vegas. This is the last day. We had some great announcements, great keynotes. In one of the keynotes, by the way, was with you, Shiv. So we are here with Shiv Ramji. Shiv, you are leading Customer Identity Cloud. You're president for Okta. Thanks for joining us. How are you today?
Thank you very much for having me. I am great. I'm really excited about all the announcements, and I can't wait to have this conversation with your listeners and your audience.
Excellent. So you're managing Customer Identity Cloud for Okta.
Yes.
So you've been with the company for a few years. And can you tell us what is important for business leaders currently to know about identity and about the importance of identity in the cloud systems especially? We'll talk more about people first, okay, the more traditional single sign-ons and so on. And then we'll move into how this is evolving with AI and agents.
Yeah, let's do that. So look, first, when you think about identity, you're gonna think about it as a login box to a work application or a login box to a consumer experience. And the best way to explain how identity works today is maybe what airline did you fly to Vegas?
So I flew American Airlines.
You flew American Airlines. I'm assuming you use the American Airlines app.
Yes.
You logged in to get your Okay, yes. Cool. So let's use that as our baseline and example. So today, identity in an application looks like what the experience you did in American Airlines. You are about to fly, you open your app, you logged in, so to verify it was you. Once you're logged in, you can get a boarding pass, you can look at your flight, you can change seats, maybe you can book new flights. Nowadays, you can track your baggage, cool. But the important part is that what you can do once you're logged in is finite. It's predefined in the application, okay? So that's how identity works today, which is verifies who you are, but the app itself is finite in what it can do. And so the app developer, app builder, in this case, American Airlines, just said, okay, I want the app to do these 25 things. And that's all my customer can do, bro. So pretty simple, pretty self-contained. Now, of course, it's important that your password was correct, that you're using the right password, that it's a strong password, that you're not using a password that was leaked, or that your account isn't takeover, right? Those typical security needs. All right, so that's today.
So that's the most basic, I would say, example.
Example, right? So now let's talk about how generative AI and these AI agents change this world.
And maybe another example that also resonates very well for me, who's not an expert in security. Yeah. Very often we want to go into different systems, and for each of those systems we need to sign on with different usernames and passwords. And this is very tiring and very exhausting and draining, basically for the workforce, for us. And so what you enable, and that was an offering from a long time ago,
exactly,
is the single sign-on, where you can sign on once and have access to all the systems without relogging each time.
Exactly. We do that for you. If you're an employee in a company, we do that. It's the Okta platform. If you are a consumer, for example, logging the American Airlines app, we have lots of customers who use us for that. Same thing, you will sign in once and it will maintain your session. Yes. So you can come back. Because you're not logging into the American Airlines app all the time. You log in once a year.
Yes.
So that's the world today.
Yes.
Of course, there are security concerns, by the way, in this world, but we know what they are.
Yes.
And the concerns are well understood.
Yes.
Okay, now let's fast forward to an AI agent world, okay? So what might the American Airlines experience look like, say, a year from now? Now, and full disclosure, I have no knowledge of American Airlines in this, but I use it as an example, right? Which is what generative AI does a few things. One, it's unpredictable. And you may say, well, what do you mean it's unpredictable? Well, it can take any input. If you speak English, or any language that it can accept. That's it. That's the input. And it's non-deterministic. So remember I told you American Airlines might have 25 pathways, but in a natural language interface, it's using AI. It's non-deterministic. There could be 25, there could be 250 pathways to get to your ends.
Yes.
Okay, that's one. Two, these AI agents can now run asynchronously and can do long-running tasks. So remember, the American Airlines app, by the way, is built for your fingers and your human input.
Yes.
And you do something, like you do some action, you get a result back, and that's it.
Yes.
It's not doing something where you're not touching it.
Yes.
Okay?
Definitely.
So second thing would be these long-running tasks. Agents are getting very, very good at doing long-running tasks, and they can do them asynchronously, meaning you can go away.
While we are sleeping, they are
working.
Yes.
Okay? So this changes kind of how you build applications. It's also your security concerns change. And you may say, well, what do you mean? How do they change?
Yeah.
So specifically, in the example of the American Airlines app today, chances are, this is the technical stuff, but behind this, the chances are it's accessing some data. There is business logic in the app, and then there is a presentation of things to you, your experience.
Yes.
When you go into the AI world, all of that collapses. Basically, agents are at the presentation layer. So the way you architected applications does not work.
Yes.
So the world is changing.
Yes.
So now, when you take these two things together, these two phenomenon, now let's go back to identity. Okay, what are the implications of identity in this new world? Number one, if you are going to ask an agent to do something on your behalf, you want to make sure that the agent is verified, and that the agent is verified with you, meaning they are authorized to work on your behalf. Very important. Two.
So an AI agent has to be coupled to a human.
To a human. Right?
So it's like, it's like I would say an animal, like a dog, is always connected to.
It's a one-to-one connection.
And the responsibility is it's a question of responsibility.
It's a question of responsibility. Then the second thing you want to make sure is when the agent is doing work on your behalf. Let's just say it's the American Airlines app. Now we're in the future, and you've asked the American Airlines app to locate your baggage when with some additional, because it was lost, right? You want the agent to do only things you have permission to do with American Airlines. Not do anything you are not supposed to.
Yes.
Okay, so now you can see like the permissions become really, really important.
Yes.
Okay? Let's stay with this. Here's a third example. Next year when you're coming here to Octane, and again, you are looking to fly and maybe you want to spend more time before after the conference. You may use an agent from a travel company. Says, look, I'm going to be in Octane next September 2026. This is how many days. These are the conference days. These are my hotel preferences, my airline preferences, American. And let's say it goes and creates alternatively. That's an expensive transaction. It's going to cost you several thousand dollars.
Yes.
Well, you want to verify that. So I think right now for many AI use, you will need a human in the loop to verify, especially for sensitive data, sensitive transactions, confidential information.
Yes.
So you'll need that. Then the last part is, I just told you this old architecture changes. Now AI is a presentation layer and permissions matter. Okay, this gets very interesting. If you're building an agent for internal uses, in the old world, remember I said you're going to log in and then that application controls what you can do.
Yes.
Well, now when you log into an agent has access to everything. Public internet, your internal documents, your wiki, your Google documents, your Word documents, and you need fine-grained permissions. So these are like four big things that are very different when you think about agents versus the traditional.
Well, Shiv, this is very clear. Thank you. Can you summarize the 4 points?
Yeah. So the four things are, first was you need user authentication, both for the agent and for the user, because we need to make sure that the agent is authorized to do things on your behalf. The second was you need secure ways to connect to different applications. Remember when I said you're going to use an agent from a travel company to book your itinerary to Vegas next year? Well, for that agent to be able to do that successfully, we'll need access to your airline account, your hotel accounts, your calendar, your credit cards, maybe potentially, right? Maybe your the shows that you like. Anyway, well, how does agent get access to those things securely? It's because they need to talk to third-party APIs. So that's the second thing that's really important. Yes. Third, I said there are many transactions that are going to be sensitive, and you will need a human in the loop. So we need to be able to come back to you and say, before I book this trip,
that is so
when you verify.
Yeah.
And then the last part is what I call is finer grain permissions, which is you need to make sure that that agent only has access to the things that you have and nothing more. So those are the four key requirements, and those are the four requirements that we're solving when we talk about Auth0 for AI agents. Those are the four requirements that it solves.
I love it. This is so clear. Yeah. Thank you very much.
First, thank you.
What else do I need to know as a business leader when it refers to the security and identity of my people and future AI agents?
Yeah, so I think there are a couple of things that you want to be aware of. In this new world with agents, you have to make sure that you are getting explicit permission from the user. So let's just take an example. If you're an employee working at your company and you want to create an agent that will do maybe some tasks for you, okay? And maybe there are manual tasks that need access to different systems. Let's say it needs access to Salesforce, Workday, maybe it needs access to a finance system, maybe it needs access to your support system. Well, if that agent is doing multiple tasks on your behalf, you can't have this experience where the agent comes back to you and says, okay, can you authorize Salesforce? Can you now authorize for every step of the way? It's cumbersome. In fact, as a user, you're going to be annoyed.
Yes.
So in this identity world, this phenomenon is called consent. It's asking for your consent. Yes. And all of us are very familiar with consent because we do it when we go to websites and GDPR, you say allow.
Yes.
That's you.
We all know this.
We all know this.
Yes.
So this, but
is it the consent tiring, or how do
you nailed it. So there's going to be consent fatigue. So it's important to remember this. Now, we want to get ahead of consent fatigue from a user perspective, but we want to also uphold security. And so this is another area that we've built this standard that we've talked about, we call cross-app access. Mm-hmm. What it does is it ensures that the agent communication to those applications is done in a secure way because of the integration and standards and protocols we are supporting. That gives you, one, security outcomes. Two, it addresses your consent fatigue.
Yes.
Right? So this is one important concept that I think everyone needs to understand with regards to identity. Another interesting
one. This has a lot with experience. Experience and I would say efficiency at work.
Experience, efficiency, and security. Yes. The second thing I want to highlight is we're in this new world of AI. It's going to be hard to do human verification. What I mean by that is not the username password, but if I need to verify you through a selfie or an ID.
Yes.
Well, how do you do that? Because the humans cannot determine if something is AI or not.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. We can say it today. I mean, the images generated by AI, you can't even differentiate them from real.
And you would think that, machines maybe can differentiate. They can't either.
Yes.
Okay, so now what do we do? So I think there's a big implication with regards to identity on what we call identity verification.
Yes.
Again, this is an industry term, but what it means is when you're doing some very important sensitive transactions, like you do this with a lot of banks, opening a bank account or authorized transaction, it will say, or if you're buying alcohol in the US, it has to verify you're over 21. So identity verification is the second area that I think will change and new standards will develop that we are also pushing for. Another interesting area will be with, I think all of us are using, you're probably using ChatGPT and maybe some other tools. It's building a memory of you, by the way. So I think over time, especially if you're thinking, as your users and listeners are thinking about, well, what could be new and different? That could be an interesting place where you may want to make memory portable across platforms.
Yes.
How do you do that? Well, it's linked to your identity.
Exactly.
Okay.
And you don't want this to be
Also to be hacked.
or whatever.
So that's another security concern. So I think when
this point is so important, and I was. This is not something we've discussed about during the conference, but I had this in mind because I think the future of large language models and agents is really going into the memory area, where those agents can personalize more, can have a continuity in in the connections with us. Today we can see that we need to repeat the same context. Every time we do a prompt, we have to repeat the same thing.
Right.
I'm this person, I'm doing this thing, and I want like this.
You're gonna have prompt fatigue.
So I love it.
It's gonna be the
prompt fatigue.
Yeah.
And so the solution to that will be to give memory to those agents, so they will know us better.
Yes.
But this memory is so precious because this is all about us. That's exactly. I mean, that's
yours.
This is very private. This contains things from your past, your history, or things that you don't that are your own, and that you need to choose who you share it with.
Exactly.
And this, what you say is this is an area where Okta will play a role in the future, or
I think,
or at least this is part of identity, what we call identity.
This is me future casting to say, well, where else? Because I think you asked, well, what else should we think about when I think about identity in this area? Well, these are some of the considerations. Now, is this how we will play out? Is this exactly, or whether we will have a product to help with this? Unclear. But you can see a progression where
I love the
technology is going. So I think we have to think about all of those scenarios.
Yes.
Anyway, so those are some three to four things that I think when I think about the future. And I think next year we'll have interesting conversation. Maybe some of these predictions will be right, or we'll have some new ones.
Definitely. What are just to finish, the last question?
Yeah.
What are the three things that you think business leaders should be doing now in order to make sure they have the right level of identity, security, authentication, as we discussed? What are the concrete, actionable steps they need to do? Do they need to build a team? Do they need to find the right system? What comes first? And what is the big picture of what they need?
Yeah, I think right now every leader, product or IT leader, is under pressure to do something with AI and move fast. But I don't think you have to sacrifice security. So even when you want to move fast, you want to get security right. And I think that's the number one concern right now. When I talk to leaders, like, why have you not deployed agents into production? Security is a number one reason. So you got to get that right. Two, you want to invest in solutions that will, I call this word future-proof, meaning you need a solution that's going to solve for every identity type, every identity use case, and then every resource. Server, database, API, application, right?
So you need a compelling solution.
You need a complete, compelling solution, not 17-point solution.
Yes,
I think that's like the big difference. And the last one is more about generally security for the entire industry, which is our approach has been transparency, open standards. So my ask would be support these standards, ask for these standards, because the more adoption we get as an industry, I think we elevate the entire ecosystem. So those will be the three.
Excellent. Shiv, That was really insightful. Thank you so much for your time, your insight.
Yeah.
So we are here at Okta. It was a great event. It's almost the end of the event now.
Almost.
Yeah, we are all excited by all the insight and the announcement that happened.
Yes.
Thank you very much. And to you listening to us, see you next time.
See ya.